Okay, this morning I'm going to do a different type of video. It's a how-to video. I like to do them every now and then. I did a kitchen remodeling one time. I did a repair a refrigerator at one time. And those videos normally do pretty good. Today is how to clean a car. But anybody can wash a car. But if you have a paint job that you absolutely do not want to get scratched or any of those little swirls in there, I'm going to show you how to properly clean it, because that is primarily where you get those swirls in your paint, is by you washing it or taking it through an automated machine. So today, let me show you how to properly do it, and let's get going. So here I have a collection of different types of microfiber towels, different towels for different applications. They're all microfibers, they're seamless. Some are for drying, some are for washing. Even ones that fit over your hand. By the way, speaking of hand, I'm hand holding the camera, so pardon me. So in addition, we're going to be using some for the soap, we're going to be using some mega foam, and we're going to be using a foam cannon. Now don't mistake this for a foam gun that they sell online. This is a foam cannon. You can get them relatively cheap, or you can get them relatively expensive. Like this one is about $100. Also got a Sunjoe washer. By the way, it is freaking cold out here, so if I'm doing a little stuttering, you know why. So we're going to be using that Sunjoe washer, and let's take a look at the car, and I'm going to show you what's going on here. And it's got a lot of dirt on it, and you'll notice the bottom portion of the car is actually dirtier. Even when if you were to put this spot underneath a microscope, there's different size particles. The bigger sizes, when you start rubbing it around with a wet soapy towel, it's going to scratch it. And then you're going to take that wet soapy towel and you're going to rub it all over the hood or the trunk, and it's just going to make us, over years, over months, forget years. Okay, it's a little cold out here, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pressure wash the car. And then I'm going to show you what this is for. Okay, we're back to hand holding the camera. I want to show you something now. After spraying down the car, pressure washing it, I don't know if you can see it. That's where my finger went through to show you the dirt on the rims. I don't know if this is picking it up, but you can obviously see, if it is, that not all the dirt came off. To include those two marks, finger marks, on the side fender. So now we're going to deploy the foam cannon, and I'm going to explain what it's for. One thing it is for, before I set it up, is there's a lot of water on the car, but unfortunately between the water droplets is dry, and that means there's no water on that dirt, or for that matter even a squished bug. We have a lot of bugs here in Arizona, and the water should be on those particles and on the bugs to soften them up so they get removed more easier. This is where the foam cannon comes in. Let's get it set up. Okay, foam cannon. My choice of foam, Adams, 2 ounces in a whole thing of water. I actually took it to the kitchen scale, measured out 2 ounces. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, I'm going to hand hold this camera here, so it's going to get a little shaky. Okay, so the first thing we notice, this foam completely covers the car and sticks to the car. There's no dry spots between droplets. Therefore, this is actually sitting on everything, dirt, bugs, and it's softening them up. Now, obviously, I did a quick coating. I have to still spray the entire car, but you can see the advantages. So let me go ahead and continue to spray this car. Okay, we're back to hand holding the camera. And you can see everything's just dripping off. Thank you, machine, for interrupting me. You can see everything just slowly dripping off, and everything is just slowly oozing down. So what is this foam really for? Ooh, I'm out of breath running around this car. What it's for is you got a bunch of sand on the car, dirt, residue, a particular particle size, and the weight of this foam is actually dragging those particles down off your car and leaving only the finest of sediment. Look at the rims. That's pretty much what's going on here. So you let it sit for a couple of minutes, and like I said, the weight of this, the velocity of this falling down off the side of your car is also dragging down the thicker, the bigger of the particles. And that's the stuff where you start using a rag and you're actually rubbing it into the paint like sandpaper. You take a look at those circles. They got dirt in them. Those little tiny circles. They got dirt in them. Let's walk around the car. This is where I get a lot of the bugs. A lot of this is already dripped off. But this is going to be, those bugs are going to come off so quickly with the pressure washer now. Okay, the car's rinsed off. One thing I was thinking about while spraying down the car, if you never use a pressure washer on your car, you got to be very careful, okay? You'll notice I keep approximately 2 feet away from the car, and I use a wide tip, which is the softest pressure. That this comes with like 4 tips, actually 5. There's the black, this gray, green, yellow, and red. So I use a wide tip, which disperses a softer, even though it looks hard. If it gets close to the car, you can dig up your paint. And how is that? If you got a chip in your paint, and if you're close enough, you can push the water underneath the chip, underneath the paint, pull off more paint. So be very careful. Keep your tip approximately 2 feet away, and always use your softest tip, which is basically your widest fan, your fan angle. So car's washed. I got a couple of more tricks up my sleeve I want to show you. First, I need to wash it down with I need to wipe it down with a bucket of water, because what is remaining on the car now is only the finest of... This thing keeps interrupting me. I think it's got a mind of its own. So all I did is foam it. I rinsed the foam off, and what is left over is the finest of sediment. Now that sediment also, it can be sandpaper, but there's a particular way that you wash your car. You wash your car from... Okay, the bucket's filling up. What I'm going to be using I got a 5-gallon bucket. There it goes again. I'm going to shoot this thing. So I'm going to use some Meguiar's car wash. For half a bucket of water, I'll use maybe 1 shot glass. I keep it on the weak side. That way it's easier to rinse off. I don't need my water to be super soapy. I already did 90% of the cleaning. By the way, I'll be using this microfiber towel. You'll notice that even the edges don't have seams on it to scratch your paint. So that's what I'll be using. For those of you who are wondering how long this has taken me, this has taken me no longer than a normal car wash. Because the average Joe will fill up a bucket, soapy water, wash their car down. They'll notice that their water's dirty. They'll go back 3 or 4 times, dumping out the dirty water, and then they'll finally get around to rinsing and then drying. This is taking absolutely no longer no longer to wash this car than it would be a normal wash. Top to bottom. Relatively straight strokes. I'm not going in circles. Wash the rag out. Now I wash it towards the surface, hope you can hear me, of this bucket, not at the bottom of the bucket where the sediment is falling to. So I'm gonna go around the car and I'll be right back. So one thing I wanted to talk about really quick is your tires. While you're washing your car with a rag, do not touch your tires. Your tires are done separately. You don't want to touch your tires and rims and then put that same rag on your top of the car and start wiping it in. The dirtiest part of the car is the bottom, but what's even dirtier is your rims. Save your rims for the last. Do not let this rag touch your rims, even accidentally. Okay? See you in a few minutes. Okay, at any time you accidentally drop your rag on the ground, there could be a rock in there. Don't risk it. Go get another rag from your pile. Throw these in the washing machine. By the way, speaking of washing machines, just plain soap. They do not like, what do you call that, softener. Just put some regular Tide in your machine or whatever your soap preference is. I'm out of breath. I've been running around this car trying to get it clean. It's a good aerobic workout. So they don't even like to be put in the dryer. You wash them, spin dry them, hang them up to dry. The dryer will actually make the rag harder. A harder rag will damage your car quickly. Never use, and this is what this video is for. This video is how to wash a car and protect your paint at the same time. Now obviously, you're driving a 1976 Pinto and you don't care, just wash your car. But if you're driving a car that you treasure and you want to save that paint, this is how you do it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray off the car with clean water, obviously my pressure washer, and I got one last trick to show you. Okay, so we just sprayed down the car. Now, obviously, I didn't show you stuff like opening up the doors, cleaning the door jambs and whatnot. I didn't think I needed to waste your time on that. You all know what to clean. Most of the people who are watching this video are pretty intelligent. So we rinsed the car off, and I got one more trick to show you, and then we're done. Maybe in an hour or two after I take a lunch break, I'll clean the rims. I'm not going to show you how to clean rims because I do them by hand. Now, every rim is different style, different spokes and whatnot. So different methods of getting your hand around there and reaching in and out and trying to get around your brake calipers and whatnot. So you're on your own about that. All I can say is do not take that same rag that you used to clean your rims. Oh, I missed a spot. And you take that rag and, oh, no. You got plenty of rags, hopefully. Microfiber rags. They all go in the dishwasher, not the dishwasher, the washing machine. No fabric softener, as I mentioned. Hang dry. If you drop it on this concrete, there could be a slight pebble that grabs hold of the nap. The nap is the fibers. And stays on that, and you're freaking rubbing your car with a pellet or little grain of sand. You don't want to do that. So just don't even risk it. If you drop, when I drop my rag on this driveway, it goes right by the machine. I go grab another one. So let me show you how to clean the, I'm sorry, I'm still out of breath. Let me show you how to dry the car without hardly touching it. See, that's where a lot of you want to touch your car as the least amount as possible. You know, and so let me show you how I do it, and give me a second through the magic of video editing. Man, I am sweating like a pig. So I wanted to talk about a few things really quick. Sorry to interrupt the video, but when you're working, you're actually working and trying to create a video at the same time, you can lose, you can be distracted about things that are important to include in your video. For example, I want to explain the dropping of the rag. You know, whether you have a custom classic, whether you have a Mustang, whether you have a Mercedes, whether you have a newer Corvette, whatever you have, I'm sure you really love. You love that car and you worked hard for it. And what I was talking about the rag was that I want everybody to understand is it's not worth the risk if you accidentally drop your towel, the wash rag, your microfiber on the ground, and the nap, which is the hairs of a towel, actually clings to a grain of sand. It's not worth it to continue to pick it up and continue to rinse it off. It's not worth it. I'll normally just shake it off and go get and throw it in the cleaning pile that I put in the laundry machine. And just go grab a new one. It's just not worth that even small percentage of a chance that you might scratch your car. There's one thing. Second thing is, again, when working and creating content, you can get distracted. So there's things I didn't add in the video that I would like to add now. For example, you always see me during the video, if you pay attention, always put my electrical cable over my shoulder. I never let it drag or touch the car. That goes for water hoses, anything that's around, I don't let it touch the car. I also wanted to add that this method that you're seeing now is the exact method that professional detailers use when washing the outside of a car. With the exception is they might use a 2-bucket system. What do I mean by that? When I wash my car, top to bottom, all the way from top, all the way down to the skirt. The skirt is that bottom part of the car. It's the dirtiest. Then what they'll do is they'll put it in one bucket filled with water. They'll shake it out in that bucket, and then they'll put it in a second bucket of water and soap, and then they'll go continue all the way from top to bottom on the rear door. First bucket, rinse it out. Second bucket for soap and water. Then they'll work their way around, basically. I just use a 1-bucket system. I'm not that anal when it comes to cleaning the car, but this is the exact same system that professional detailers use. Lastly, what I would like to include in this video that I didn't is the fact that there's so many segments that you're watching. You're probably like, this is so much. This is not even worth my time. That's just video creation. There's just no way I can trim it down. But what I would like to do is tell you, it's basically this. Rinse your car, foam your car, rinse your car, wash the car down with a rag, and then dry it. It's that simple. I did get a question about the foam. The foam is also considered a soap. So I didn't have to really rinse off that foam. I could have just used that with a plain bucket of water and washed my car with a rag. Either way would have worked, because that foam is considered a soap. Okay. Other than that, it's really simple. I'll let you continue with the video. I hope you're enjoying the content. I did recognize that some of the lighting I'm using a GoPro camera. It's not really good when there's something bright behind the subject. It'll normally darken the subject and focus on the brightness. So that's the GoPro camera. I do apologize about some of the lighting. It is what it is. Take care. Okay, so what I use is a lawn blower. Now, some lawn blowers, I'm going to warn you, you can also use them as a vacuum to vacuum up leaves. If you've ever vacuumed up leaves with your lawn blower, do not use your lawn blower, because it might spit out a branch as you're drying your car. So the goal is to dry off. Let me say this, you don't want to absolutely dry off your car with this. You want to leave a little water on there. That hood of the car is perfect for now using a rag. So you're going to go around and you're going to just remove 75% of the water from your car. And you're going to dry it off with a rag, but let me show you how it's done. I'm going to use, get rid of this rag here. I'm going to use a standard microfiber towel. Nothing special about it. And what you do is, because a dry towel will actually repel water, put it under water and you squeeze out all the water. You basically want to use a damp towel to dry off your car. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but that's the way it is. And then as this rag gets saturated with water, you just re-squeeze it out. Again, this towel does not touch the rims. The rims are done separately. And that is how you dry a car. So my next video, I want to talk about polishing versus waxing. They're two completely different things. Polishing removes flaws in your paint while removing the protectant, which is the car wax. So after you polish your car, you always need to wax your car. Okay, and that's what I need to do next, because I made a mistake. When I bought the car, I had to drive it all the way from Phoenix, Arizona to here. And I hit a sandstorm, which I never hit in my life. And I hit a rainstorm. The sandstorm didn't do nothing to the car, but the rain dried on the car, leaving, you can't even see it, but I can, because I'm so picky, little white water spots. And the only way to remove them is polishing them off. So I want to polish the car and wax it. Maybe this weekend I'll do that. Maybe actually this weekend is this weekend. Next weekend is what I'm talking about. I'll do that. So let me go around the car, dry off the car. So to recap on this video, if there was any confusion about that foam cannon, the purpose of that is to throw down a wet coating over your car. Something that just doesn't drop to the ground and roll down the street instantly. It'll stay stuck to the bugs and the dirt, and it'll soften them up. And then while it's dripping down, the weight of that flow knocks down some of the other particles, such as sand, knocks them off your paint onto the ground. So that's what the foam cannon is for. And I'll walk around the car. Actually, I'll just show you the hood. There's not a scratch on this hood. And it needs wax. It needs actually it needs to be polished and then waxed. By the way, did you know that when you buy a new car off the lot, brand new car that is, it has no wax on it. It just has bare clear coat. So as soon as you buy your car, throw a coat of wax, or you're gonna get into the same problem I ran into. A rainstorm, and then it dried and left a bunch of water spots. Now you can't see the water spots, but I can. Let's see if I can pick some up. They're little tiny faint blemishes. Polisher will remove them. But anyway, again, that foam is key. It truly is key to washing a car that you treasure.